up. But now we're back into Champ Select, powered by Omen and HyperX, here for game number 2 in the series, and we'll see if PSG can bounce back, because again, they're targeting these mid-lane assassin picks from Mireu, the LeBlanc, the Akali. Those are out of the picture, alongside the just general OP Nico. That one's going to be kept off the table as well. Azir and Orianna also banned out by VKS, so 4 out of 5 bans so far targeting mid lane.
Yunara is still left open, so I'm curious if we end up seeing the ban. There it is.
There it is.
So what do we first pick here as PSG Talon? Like, Rise already taken off the board because it was played in the last game. A lot of those mid lane picks already taken away as well. So is it just going back towards something like the Vi or one of these junglers?
Well, let's see what we get, because also 2 of the biggest junglers taken out in that previous game as well, right? Like Wukong and Xinjiao now no longer available because of Fearless. So PSG, you got to get some value out of this. That's another one of those picks that is very often banned in mid lane. The Aurora locked in for Maple and PSG.
Yeah, she's very strong, does well into a lot of matchups, and also then having that assassination potential and dive potential really does open up the game. We'll have to see what VKS want to try and answer with, because I still think going for some sort of jungle lock-in here and maybe going for your support could work out relatively well, but we'll have to see what they want to go for. Like, Qiyana has been a pick that has been relatively strong, but we haven't really seen Disamis bringing that one to the table. It looks like it will just be the Annie in response. Is it going to be the Jarvan, and we just go for bare bones basics here for VKS?
Okay, VKS, they're just going to lock the Annie. It doesn't get much simpler than a mid-lane Annie. Pretty good stuff for Engage. We know what this champion is going to do. Tibbers for tempo in lane very often. So that's going to be Mireu's play this time around. What else do we want to go for here for the side of VKS? Whoa, that could be spicy. Nope,
okay.
Nope, we're going to get... I was like, now hold on a second. I still do really like the Pantheon.
Yes, I think the Pantheon is a great addition here. Good setup in your mid-jungle, the ability to play for side lanes are fantastic, and just decent team fights. So I think this is a much stronger pick. And PSG Talon, again, I'm not really sure. Because we haven't seen a huge amount of these deeper picks in the draft, what exactly you want to go for. Rumble, still going to be nice, but it does mean that for Maple, more than likely going towards this Jarvan, for Karsa, going towards the Jarvan, because it is strong in enabling both of the Aurora and the Rumble. But I think you just take the Jarvan. I'd be worried about the Jarvan getting banned away in this next rotation.
I'm still a bit of a Jarvan hater. I still think that the champion has not had a great showing at Worlds thus far. Last game, remember that I said Ambessa was the 2nd most played champion for Azhi throughout summer. Rumble is the only one that he has more picks on. So again, it's comfort for the top laner of PSG. Varus locked in for Betty alongside the Corki. This is his most played in summer. So it's more comfort, more of what PSG is used to.
And more of that backline access, because I believe essentially what PSG Talon want to do is poke Varus into Rumble ultimates, into Aurora damage, and just cause a ruckus in the backline. Whereas VKS feels a little bit like if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Going for this very strong tank top, front to back, similar style to what we had in the last game. If I'm PSG Talon, I am target banning Trymbi. I want the Rell gone, I want the Nautilus gone, I want nothing that can enable Trymbi to continue the performance he had in game number 1.
Yeah, I think Trymbi's Alistar performance in that first game was one of the best Alistars we've seen at Worlds so far, right? Like, he was constantly setting up plays, constantly hitting multi-man pulverizes that were then followed up by multi-man seismic shoves, and it was really just a beauty to watch, unless, of course, you're PSG or a PSG fan, in which case it was terrifying, and we will go ahead and see some jungle focus here from VKS, who have already locked their own jungler, so they're going to target the pool of PSG a little bit further. That Qiyana removed.
I think it'll be Qiyana and Jarvan, and then or maybe Qiyana and Vi. Okay. But either way, you're still very limited on the pool that you have available. And if I'm Vi into Ornn, Annie, Pantheon, I'm not exactly, smiling as I go into that one.
You're not having a great time.
Yeah, so I think it might be a Jarvan ban and try and force Karsa to go towards the Vi. Because you can't really go for a Wukong. You're so AP heavy already.
It's also Fearless.
The Maokai, because you're already so AP heavy. So I like not having, I was going to say, that Wukong available really hamstrings you in this sort of draft for PSG Talon.
All right, last ban of the draft on the VKS side. Braum instead. Okay, so they do not want the defensive capabilities of the Braum for Woody. Bard also banned out here by PSG, so both sides missing their supports, both sides paying a little bit of respect towards the role. We'll see if PSG want to levy another ban towards that role. But like you said, Vi and Jarvan both still open. Vi, of course, not super happy about diving into the current VKS team. Jarvan has had a terrible track record so far at this event, so I can understand just being less afraid of him because of that. And there you go. It's another potential support banned away in the Poppy.
Yeah, I think now you probably take the Nautilus here for Trymbi. You can round out your composition with the Karsa. Struggles a little against the Varus in lane, but will be fine as you start to rotate around the map. And then if I'm PSG Talon, there is a chance maybe you try and go for something funky, like you take the Nefiri that we saw Karsa pilot already, but it means that you're heavily reliant on Woody having a strong support to be that engage tool.
Right.
I mean, you don't really have the rest of the fundamental pieces like a strong tank top laner. It does get pretty tough.
Well, we've got the big Rell engage there for Trymbi. The amount of engage right now on VKS is simply insane. You've got Rell Magnet Storm, you've got Ornn Call of the Forge God, you've got Tibbers from Annie, and then you've got Pantheon to jump in over the top of whoever starts it off with the Grand Starfall.
Yeah, you basically just point and say, screw everyone and everything in this area in particular when this fight starts off, which I think is going to be a rough all time for PSG Talon again, because you're heavily reliant on this Leona. It could be to be that real soul tank for you, unless you want to go for like Sejuani or something for Karsa, but even then, that doesn't really fit with the composition you're trying to go for. Yeah, it's going to be the Jarvan, but Jarvan's going to melt as he goes in here.
Well, we'll see if they decide to lock it. It is really just Woody's Leona so far for the engage. Okay, Jarvan locked in for Karsa. So you've got Leona and Jarvan for your engage. Varus can obviously go for picks as well with Chains of Corruption, and then Aurora and Rumble to try to follow up here.
Okay, it's going to be the Ezreal at the end of the day. I thought they might still go for that Karsa. Again, you kind of have the ability to keep yourself safe with the Killer Instinct on some of the engage tools from PSG Talon, but the Ezreal works just as well. Very strong when you hit that mid-game, able to answer for some of the damage that's coming through from PSG Talon, but crucially can keep himself safe from both the Aurora and that Jarvan.
Exactly. Ezreal has always been known for over a decade now in League of Legends of being able to just shift out of Jarvan's ulti. Well, he can also shift out of Magic Bunny Jarvan's ulti. It's very easy to get away from the circles of doom when Flash is on your E. So Morttheus just trying to make sure that he stays safe. And when you have all of this mega engage with Trymbi or Boal or Mireu going in to start off with these AoEs, it's very easy for Ezreal to just see it and just shoot True Shot Barrage over the top. And again, you've got just another layer of that big damage coming in for burst.
This is still a difficult one for PSG Talon. Like, I prefer what VKS are bringing to the table. And again, if VKS get on a roll, they are going to just absolutely steam through what the LCP is bringing to the table here. And for PSG Talon, they have shown strong early games. They have shown they can get leads against some of the best teams at Worlds 2025. Now they just have to see if they can do it against the Brazilian representatives.
Yeah, I said last game that when we watched PSG versus Hanwha, versus Gen.G, versus the top 2 seeds from the LCK, they achieved the feat of warfare in both games. They were first to 3 kills, even if they were not winning overall in those early games. Last game, it was VKS getting the feat of warfare. It was the Brazilian squad that was more active in the kills, and I want to see PSG have some of that same bloodthirst that we saw from them against the LCK squads. Game number 1, we had 1 kill on the board 10 minutes into the game. I'm expecting more action here in number 2. Nice hit there, piercing arrow from Betty at level 1. Speaking of Betty, on Varus, for his career, he is 70 wins, 38 losses. This is his most played champion by 35 games.
That's pretty damn impressive. I mean, not only the fact is it how many games that he's played, it's that win rate, very, very strong. And he's opting in towards that poke Varus that we were talking about here, so he'll be very strong at holding on towards that mid push, enabling Azhi and Maple when it comes towards sides, but also if someone drops low, the poke that can come through from Azhi and Betty, the combo that you have on some of these isolated targets with the upfront burst PSG Talon have, Betty can try and snipe off a few of those members.
And worth noting as well, specifically because they're both full engage, full send, engage tank supports, Summoner Spellbook on both Woody and Trymbi. There's no aftershocks for bonus durability or anything like that. So again, kind of what you're talking about, where you said it specifically for VKS, if they get ahead, PSG is going to have a real hard time. Whichever side falls behind, that support engage is a one-way ticket.
Yeah, I think that's kind of what supports have figured out, is actually a bit of an invade here, so Disamis gonna need to be a little careful.
Yep, there comes Karsa, does steal away the large Krug. Disamis fighting back here a little bit, but a nice steal from Karsa to interrupt Disamis is clear, and now he's waiting for Disamis to just check this brush again. I love this from Karsa. Another EQ combo. Disamis down to 200 HP. He's going to take the blast cone. Karsa making sure he doesn't step so close that he gets knocked the other direction. But now Disamis has been forced out of his own jungle. But Boal has got the wave shoved up. He's going to come in after Karsa. Karsa already used EQ. Karsa's in danger. He's down to 200 HP. Even if he tries to flash, Mireu is waiting. Karsa initially with the big brain for the invade, but greed is a deadly sin, Dagda, and he pays with his life.
Big brain, but no brawn to back him up. It's Boal who ends up teetering over and putting that scales in favor of VKS. Azhi now trying to make him hurt for leaving the lane, and we'll actually get a good amount of damage onto the Ornn.
I mean, that Ornn is still plenty happy being the one who received the kill. He got the wave shoved up early, so he felt comfortable walking away and roaming. Now Karsa back out onto the map. Again, he's going to invade Disamis once more. He will not be dissuaded from this. Looks like he sees the blue buff. He's going to check the brush. Disamis knows that Karsa's looking for him. He's going to drag this Gromp all the way over here, so if nothing else, he can at least complete his Gromp task. Karsa still thinking about this. Woody stepping forward, making sure that he can use his sweeper. But now Disamis has level 3 on his Pantheon. He's going to step forward. Woody nearby, though, means it's so hard for Disamis to try to do anything. He wanted to throw the spear, see if maybe he can find something else. Disamis needs to try to get away. He throws up the shield. Disamis is down. Karsa takes the kill, makes this game a 1-1.
VKS knew that this was happening. Mireu had started to roam over, but he actually goes back to the mid lane, which enables PSG Talon to outperform VKS in that bottom side jungle.
Karsa is playing so aggressively in the jungle in this early game, invading, interrupting the Krug clear, and now Mireu in a little bit of danger. It's a flash Zenith Blade from Woody, dodged by the response flash from Mireu, but now the immobile Annie no longer has the defensive summoner spell.
The question mark is what Karsa wants to do, because he knows that this Pantheon's going to immediately move towards the Scuttle Crab. Mireu should be able to step away.
Okay, Mireu, 200 HP, making a little bit more distance on this one. Did not have a stun ready and charged. Disamis continuing to retreat back in his own jungle, because guess who's back, Dagda? It's Karsa again.
And it's a great call from Karsa on the path. He knows that the only thing on the map that Disamis can do is that topside scuttle. So immediately forgets about his bottom side, moves up towards this top, defends the scuttle, now can start his clear back down towards this bottom side, and has really set Disamis behind.
Disamis on this Pantheon, down the largest gold deficit individually in the game, 369 gold behind his opponent, and Karsa going to make that distance even more as he clears out his own blue buff, clears out his own Gromp. He's got plenty of camps ready to farm, as now Maple has to get away from Trymbi, who has made his rotation over towards mid, and it's a couple hundred gold lead for PSG, largely off of Karsa's antics.
Yeah, and it's a great start for him. Again, like, the experience will eventually even up because of the catch-up XP, but the gold and the and everything else is such a big momentum push for PSG Talon. The flash not on Pantheon makes a lot of these early plays difficult, and if Karsa now can kind of play off these spot side pressure, he can maybe look to contest the push as Trymbi and Morttheus bounce this wave back.
Azhi cooking up the wave here, getting this one shoved out. Does have Equalizer ready. Boal TP's in and immediately just ready to try to keep this wave frozen. Make sure that he can farm up whatever he needs to. Does have Spectre's Cowl already purchased for, you know, heading towards the Kaenic Rooker that you would have to expect every tank builds into Rumble early on to make these trades a little bit more bearable, because right now you can see Azhi wins these pretty hard. Disamis has to be so careful when he walks around these brushes in this game. Boal going in though, looking for the solo kill into Azhi, but a nice flash for the PSG top laner, getting himself away, making sure he does not get hit by the knockup on that. Boal, I'm expecting him to go for the fast Ornn combo and try to double brittle proc, really make life miserable on this Rumble.
It doesn't quite end up hitting it, but it still delays Azhi on the reset, which is honestly a bit of a win here for Boal. He's got the... Oh, hang on.
Yeah, Disamis in the mid lane. Tibbers has already been summoned. Maple's in some serious danger. He goes between worlds and he gets away. Maple! He flashes just to try to make sure he gets away from the Comet Spear. He would have lived anyway, but a bit of a panic there at the very end. Did not want to get caught out. The Dragon down to 400 HP, and now Trymbi stepping in. Crash down, dodged by Betty there with a flash of his own. Morttheus continues firing here with the Mystic shots. Trymbi still looking to see if maybe he can get a little bit more lockup onto Woody, who wants to get away. Trymbi with a shattering strike. Woody's about to die. Morttheus takes the kill, and Disamis gets away. VKS get a kill, but PSG take the Drake.
It's a good start for PSG Talon, but VKS are coming alive. Boal needs to escape, but can he?
Yeah, he's alcove gaming right now. Azhi trying to make sure he doesn't overheat all the way. This is looking a little bit silly, but Azhi is winning. He overheats, steps back into the alcove. Boal again, just trying to create some distance. This is Ornn gaming right now as Azhi continues trying to burn him down, but Boal just taunts him with the emote. Boal gets away.
The most intense game of Peekaboo might not be over yet, though, as we get the TP from Trymbi. They're looking for Azhi. He has no flash.
He has no flash, but there's not a lot of damage between Rell and Ornn. We'll see if there is enough. There's the Bellows Breath, but no. Azhi sidesteps the knockup and stays alive.
Azhi breathing hard after that one. That was a workout and a half to try and stay alive and also get the kill, but can't quite do it. But PSG, they're on Disamis again. Good flash.
Yeah, Karsa jumping in there for the Cataclysm. Disamis immediately responds, flashing away. PSG full sending again. Disamis is their target this game. Game number 2 is all about Karsa playing aggressively and the rest of the team ready to back him up. Maple so thankful to have got out of that gank in mid lane earlier as well, but he does not have his ulti. He does not have his flash. The Aurora is very vulnerable. Azhi has now teleported back out onto the map after his recall to join up with the rest of the team. The Grubs are alive, and that's going to be PSG's goal.
Yeah, I think at this stage, VKS are kind of shown they're happy to be patient. They don't want to try and overextend and contest PSG as they move in towards these objectives, even though they have... Oh, hang on. Do they want to try? No, Trymbi just going to kick them to the curb. Yep. But it's just, yeah, even when you don't have, like, Maple's ultimate was up quite at the right time, but also because Disamis is that level down, thanks to how aggressive PSG Talon have been in his jungle, it does make them a little bit more scared.
Well, now Disamis does have the Grand Starfall, and this is kind of the great equalizer if you fall behind early.
No, that's Rumble.
Yeah, okay, my bad. My bad, buddy. Well, we've got the great... leveler outer of game state for Pantheon here, since he can try to use this to set up a play, get a numbers advantage when you wouldn't think you'd have one, and try to get some sort of edge. As now the engage comes out from Trymbi, Disamis and Mireu ready to follow it up. Maple staying alive for now. Morttheus needs a little bit of damage. He trades 1-for-1 with Maple. Trymbi's gonna get cooked up by Azhi. Feet of Warfare claimed by VKS, but Trymbi's about to die. Azhi needs a little bit more damage, and he finds it. Now Mireu's the one under pressure. Ornn summoned up by Boal. Azhi in the back part of the pit, and he's gonna drop now too. VKS. They deny 3 grubs. They end up having a bloodbath 2-for-2 in the fight.
It is a messy fight in the pit, but the problem for VKS is that Betty wasn't here. It's everyone invested on VKS's side, and Betty gets to have some alone time on the bot side. Maple, thanks to the electrocute, finishes off Morttheus, and that takes so much of the wind out of the sails of VKS in this fight. Mireu cannot be a consistent DPS. Disamis has been set so far behind, and Azhi is getting a ton of work done, doesn't quite finish off Mireu. But the fact that VKS had to pull everybody to the fight leaves Betty on the bottom side.
Betty's going to benefit from that one a little bit, but an even fight there for VKS brings our gold back to a standstill. Feet of Warfare claimed for VKS, feels really good for them, and very important as well since PSG now have 2 out of 3 of the neutral objectives towards the Feet of Monster Slaying, excuse me, so that means that it's probably going to come down to the first turret.
But also look at where that gold is positioned right now, because Morttheus has a very nice advantage over the Ezreal, which is pretty big, and Azhi having that advantage and Karsa is going to be a little bit more of a difficult situation to overcome, because they can try and find access to the backline. That dive and that excess damage can be so important to how team fights can pan out for PSG Talon. So if Morttheus can stay alive, especially as he completes this Trinity Force, maybe there's a chance for VKS. But if Azhi and Karsa get to have their way, That's a terrifying time for VKS.
Absolutely, my friend. Sundered Sky completed for Karsa on this Jarvan. Nobody else across the map has their first item fully done, so Karsa's in a great spot to be able to lead the charge and continue playing aggressively. Trymbi with a crash down, buffers through the Zenith Blade, now defensive Magnet Storm having to flash away, but he's trapped inside the Cataclysm. Trymbi's down, nice pick, PSG.
Right before the Dragon spawns as well, PSG get exactly what they want, and this was more what people were expecting coming into this series. Karsa dictating the pace of the early game, getting into the face of Disamis, and PSG being able to fall back towards strong team fighting and pick-orientated plays.
Okay, Disamis is hanging around nearby, so is Morttheus. Mireu also around the area. Here comes Boal. It's the Ornn. Karsa's in a little bit of danger, and so is Woody. Now Mireu's found Maple off to the side. The Drake is stolen away by Disamis. Boal's in the pit with everybody. Betty's going to be the target, but over the wall goes Boal, and now Woody's ready to follow. Boal is next to die. Betty low, but safe for now. Azhi is cooking everybody, and Morttheus is down. PSG find exactly what they wanted, and VKS find themselves staring down the barrel of a 2,000 gold deficit.
PSG are bloody and bruised, but they are walking, and that's all they need to do actually is, hang on, Disamis.
Disamis jumps in, but that Grand Starfall is not where he wanted to place it. He's about to die to Leandries, just barely survives, 24 HP.
That was a brave move from Disamis, and VKS crumble at the dragon. They steal the dragon away, but after all the burst is used again, it's the lack of consistent DPS which ends up hurting them. Maple gets close to being one-shot by Mireu on this bottom side, but crucially doesn't. Betty close to going down in the pit, but once again doesn't, because Azhi is doing a ton of work on this top side at keeping Morttheus out of the fight, keeping Disamis out of the fight, and it means that PSG can focus on the two other members that have overextended into the back of the pit, and they can finish them off.
And the two flashes right there at the very start from Karsa, from Betty, to not die to the Ornn were huge. Now Karsa invading yet again. Redemption keeping him alive. Trymbi and Disamis have Morttheus coming in to help him. But remember, PSG have a 2,500 gold lead. They're just working with a lot more firepower, and they can't get any kills back.
Karsa barely got over with the flag and drag before Trymbi had the knockback and managed to get positioned into the Baron pit, which meant that he was able to survive. That was very close to VKS finding a pick back, but this game is explosive, Flowers.
This is the PSG that fans wanted to see. They are bloodthirsty, they are aggressive, they are constantly putting the pressure on their opponents and making their opponents play their game. Karsa being in Disamis's jungle from level 2 has seemed to rattle VKS and cause them to constantly have to react instead of be proactive.
And again, it's the fact that you have so much gold on Karsa now, so much gold on Azhi. This 1-2 combo has been crucial in so many of the fights thus far. But if VKS can find a way to get some control back on the game, limit that pressure, maybe there's a chance. But it doesn't look like PSG are going to let up anytime soon.
That Varus from Betty is definitely looking pretty solid right now. 1-0-3 has his Ghost Blade, stacking up the tier, working towards the Muramana. That's going to be another big issue. Obviously, Boal's not going to care a ton once he gets more items, but even right now, he's only magic resistance. Everybody on the side of VKS is highly vulnerable to these piercing arrows, and if you can get some good poke from Betty on this champion that he has so many games on before these fights, it's impossible for VKS to play it out.
Yeah, Trymbi poking his nose in here towards the Rift Herald, but I don't think you really get to do what you want here. More just window shopping at what he wishes he could have as the rest of VKS start to move down towards his bottom side. Azhi reading that well, moving up towards the mid, making sure that he's not going to get dove anytime soon.
Yeah, Trymbi's not got a whole lot that he can really say about that Rift Herald take, so he'll just back away from it. And PSG will find themselves another objective. And it did end up coming down to what I thought. We've got the Feat of Warfare for the side of VKS, the Feat of Monster Slaying for the side of PSG. So the Enchanted Boots is going to come down to who gets turret number 1, and we'll see what that looks like. I'm honestly really ready to bet for PSG because they've got the Herald.
Yeah, that's generally where the thought process would lie. Is they want to pick Maple, though.
Yeah, they're going in after him. He wants to go between worlds, but immediately the crash down with the shield is ready to lock him up. He's surviving for a very long time, but the Comet Spear finds his back, and VKS are going to get their man.
Trymbi barely clipped him there with that shattering strike and actually got the stun. I'm shocked it went through, but it now opens up as Mireu. So let's be careful though, Karsa does a lot of damage here.
Yeah, Karsa's going to step forward. He'll just clear out the wave, make sure the turret doesn't take any excessive damage. Karsa, of course, having the Herald Eye himself, will be able to do plenty of work on a turret if he gets the opportunity. You can see the mid lane, bottom lane, and top lane turrets, though, on VKS are all in pretty good shape.
PSG do need to be careful of these pick plays. This is what VKS are known for, overloading the side lane and finding moments to catch you off guard, and especially with a Pantheon. If VKS can continue to find these picks, that's how they can slow down the pace of this game, give themselves time, opportunity, and space on the map to try and fight back at these objectives.
Karsa picking up his next red buff here as PSG are ready, I would think, for the next objective fight, which is that Cloud Drake spawning right now. They still have an almost 2,000 gold lead. They should still feel very confident about taking this next fight. Leandry's completed on both Maple and Azhi. Again, you've still got the Ghost Blade on Betty for the extra movement speed to either catch somebody with Chains of Corruption or sidestep some of these big AoE ultimates that are going to be flying out from the VKS side.
Looks like VKS aren't interested though. Dragon started by Jarvan, as Karsa feels confident with the position he has on the map. VKS now trying to position themselves, but you don't have Mireu here, and you've got your Ornn on the wrong side of the fight.
Yep, Mireu does have his teleport to be able to join, but it looks like he's going to walk it down the long way instead. PSG are going to pull off of the objective. They can see Mireu roaming, and they do not want to be caught off guard. Azhi does have his teleport to join up if necessary, but there's a big difference between having all 5 there at the start and needing one guy to channel for a few seconds before he can join. You can see here with your ultimate indicators on the screen, there's still a little bit of time left before Grand Starfall is ready here too. Disamis going to take the opportunity, go back, complete another purchase. Again, Unleash teleports available on all 4 of our solo laners, and critically, Woody has now swapped over to Unleash teleport as well. We'll see if the Leona can find any creative angles, but no, he's just going to use it to get back out on the map faster and allow Karsa to restart the objective, which he restarts on a ward.
They needed to match the reset from Trymbi, who'd gone back for the wards, but topside plays.
Oh yeah, they're just going to make the move onto Azhi instead. They even sent the True Shot barrage over the top. They wanted to make sure he was dead.
Great equalizer from Azhi though, because it may have prevented that top lane turret from going down. Betty.
Okay, Betty under pressure, but he's still fine for now. Trymbi only slowed by the Solar Flare. Heals back up with the Redemption. They are trying to protect that tower, like you say, the equalizer with his dying breath to make it so VKS can't immediately force down the turret. But now, Trymbi needs to disengage back here in the mid lane. Karsa walking through. Morttheus continuing to apply the pressure as Mireu puts the damage into the tier 1 turret up there in the top lane. And VKS, despite the advantage of PSG in the game so far, they will trade the second Drake for PSG for the first turret of the game, and that earns VKS the shoes.
Honestly, I'll take that as VKS. You can still look to contest the Dragons later, and these side lane picks with this Pantheon are starting to turn the tides a bit. That 1.5k gold lead that Karsa had over Disamis starting to fall apart, and even when you look towards Azhi, he's not having that same sort of control that he's had, especially when he's the focus point of these picks from VKS.
And this kind of goes back to that earlier fight, the Dragon fight that was so tragic for VKS, but PSG ended up losing the Drake instead. That fight actually ends up making this trade possible, because you don't want to give away Soul Point for free, because now you're in a really bad situation for the rest of the game. But a TP's coming in. PSG could be in a little bit of danger here, at least Woody could, as Boal jumps in, slams his head straight into the wall, slams Woody straight into the grave. VKS picking up a kill.
I think it's Adakan that VKS are interested in. They'll trade the top tower for it potentially, but what can PSG do to try and mount a comeback here? Azhi could teleport down. VKS, there's question mark pings as exactly what they want to do.
Okay, Mireu clears the wave. They clear out some of the wards nearby. VKS, they're going to send it for the Otacon. Woody is going to respawn here in about 3 seconds. VKS DPSing this objective as the Herald is summoned up here in the mid lane. The charge will not kill the turret on its own, but the auto attacks to follow up will. PSG on the approach. Woody does not have a teleport to try to join up here. Azhi is going to be your target. They want to full send it. They kill him before the redemption comes in. VKS take out the enemy top laner. They got a 5v3 for now, but remember that Woody is on the way. 5v4 yet again. The 4 are just different this time. Otacon resetting. VKS backing away.
You got the TP coming through from Azhi. And Maple's ultimate didn't really hit the key targets that it would like to. Resets coming through now for the Annie. Do we just send a take 2? but it looks like we might be backing away for VKS.
Yeah, VKS health bars are pretty injured. You can see everybody on the team there down to about 60% HP. VKS also committing the Tibbers, the Call of the Forge God, the True Shot Barrage. A lot of tools used to guarantee the kill onto Azhi means they aren't ready for another team fight at Otacon.
It does mean, though, TP down on Azhi, and they actually just had Boal in position to try and go for this. So it means that they can actually get a Summer Spell advantage, they get the kill advantage, and now they can start to push out these waves and still create points of threat on the map. VKS are doing a fantastic job of finding these quick plays to hold themselves in this game and slowly claw it back.
Disamis is now 3-1-4. Karsa is 3-1-4. For all of the pressure that Karsa was able to apply early, Disamis, like I said earlier, the great leveler outer, the Grand
It just
Starfall.
rolls off the tongue.
Yeah, it's just such a catchy name. Makes it so he can be a part of these plays and get back into the game. But for PSG, you've still got a slight advantage, and the big advantages are on Karsa and on Azhi. It's this Jarvan with 2 fully completed items, this Rumble with 2 fully completed items that are your big left and right punch, and those are the 2 that really have to sync up for PSG to get a win in a team fight.
But they're not getting a chance is the main problem. Like every single time it's VKS starting the fight to find a pick, and then they run like all hell away and make sure you can't do anything about it. Like, point in case.
There it is, another Grand Starfall with Boal tanking the turret. Azhi's gonna be in some danger, and Disamis kills him before I finish my sentence. Boal on this Ornn is so tanky, he showers in turret shots. He's got time to wash under his arms, and he's feeling great.
And there's just zero that you can do as PSG Talon. VKS are using this Pantheon so incredibly well. And again, like, how do you make this combo work with the Jarvan and Rumble if Rumble's dead every time?
It's pretty tough. Last time I checked, the abilities do not cast when one is dead in League of Legends, unless you're playing
I think you got that right, yeah.
Yeah, so we've got
check the wiki, though.
We got some problems here for the PSG side as the tier 1 turret is down in the bottom lane. It's always a big difference when you're fighting for Otacon if one side has their tier 1 in the nearby lane and the other side does not, and that's the case that VKS has right now. However, Azhi is back on the map, he's coming back out here, and this Otacon is not dying particularly fast.
Trymbi snuck his way into the bush, though. This could be a massive engage from the VKS support. PSG, they want to try and contest.
They're going to step forward. Benny's your target. Crashdown only finds Woody. They want to full send it. Woody's not dead here just yet, but they're going to find a lot of damage onto Maple. Karsa into the back line. Mireu's already down. It's a massive play coming out from PSG. They found 2. VKS overplay their hand. And it's PSG with a huge punish, and they're set up to maybe take the Otacon now. The Redemption's gonna top off the health bars. PSG are right back in it.
Finally, PSG find the team fight that they needed, but still VKS, they aren't done yet. They're gonna try and turn onto Azhi.
Okay, Azhi takes a big chunk of damage, but really, it's not enough. Boal, Morttheus, and Disamis trying to do everything they can to fight for this Otacon. Trymbi's engage. Botched ends up being the big change in this game. For all that we praised him in the previous game, the Thornbound Otacon has found its way into PSG's pockets. And the Rell pincer attack, the blunder, going too early after Betty. PSG see their moment, they punish, and they're right back in the driver's seat.
Trymbi had the unsealed spellbook smite and was hoping beyond hope that he might be able to get that steal alongside Boal, dealing every bit of damage he could to the Otacon. But it's PSG who once more take control of this game.
Beautifully turned around by PSG. Take another look here.
It's a great flash from Betty. Immediately gets away from the problem, which was Trymbi. And here, Karsa sends it into the back line, locks up Disamis and Trymbi with Azhi there to boot. And there's just nothing VKS can do. There is so much damage between this topside duo on PSG Talon.
PSG are so glad.
Look, Pantheon, try to kill Jarvan. Kill Jarvan. I have smite. Kill Jarvan.
PSG are so glad that that was the way that team fight went, and you can see the frustration on Trymbi's face. after everything happened in that fight. Now VKS looking for another one. They're going to go in on Karsa. They take him low, but they won't take him down. True shot barrage over the top. Karsa still alive. Azhi's still alive. Trymbi down first. Now it's turning around yet again. Mireu flashing away, looking to escape from Betty as Maple's now going to be your next target, and he is gone. Disamis in the back line, staying alive for now, but Karsa barely hangs on too. It's 2 dead on the side of VKS, but VKS still chasing PSG. They come out on top, +1.
I saw the potential for that arcane shift and thought Morttheus might have had it, but PSG Talon once again is so close in these fights, but it's VKS who keep falling. It's a nice pick onto Karsa, but the ult from the Leona separates the damage out, and watch then as Maple jumps onto Mireu. You've got Betty who comes onto Mireu as well with the ultimate from the Varus, and makes this fight impossible for them to play. Morttheus has to be the sole DPS in this fight. But PSG are just rotating members in and out on blinking health bars and make it so difficult for them to follow through.
These fights are getting crazy, Dagda. It's 14-10. It's sole point, though, for PSG with a 4,000 gold lead. Woody, honestly, not too afraid of this. Comet Spear's coming in, though. Betty and Karsa right next to their support. TP about to arrive for VKS. Battle lines are drawn, but it's Maple off to the side here on the Aurora.
It's so difficult. VKS, they're still trying to make the same play, still trying to look for these picks, but PSG have become aware of exactly what that game plan is. They're just not letting them find that access. It's still an incredibly close game. Like, one big combo from VKS could turn this around, but PSG Talon are fighting so well in these engagements.
What a crazy game, man. I'm having a lot of fun here with this game number 2, and PSG are in a really good spot. 4,000 gold lead, sole point already, 2 minutes until the next dragon spawns. Taking stock of all our summoner spells, it's also PSG with the teleport advantage for now. 2 minutes, however, is enough time. I believe at least Boal's is going to be up in time for that dragon, but we could have potential something here in the mid lane. Honestly, this Edge of Night doing a lot of work for Betty as well to make sure that he's not a primary target for the VKS squad.
Yeah, all the VKS are trying to do is quickly play off of 2 lanes. You see them push 1 lane, and then either Mireu or Boal, whoever cleared out that side lane, is just drifting across the mid, hoping they can find a pick. Maple gonna interrupt Trymbi there, okay, but it's just PSG trying to find that space and find that vision to spot VKS on these roams towards mid.
Advantages in individual players for every role except support on the PSG side, the largest 2 of which are the 2 largest gold leads that have existed this entire game, which is Azhi on the Rumble, which is Karsa on the Jarvan. And as long as these 2 can get their fight, they're going to be looking pretty good. Very important to notice as well, Seeker's Arm Guard, currently built, currently unbroken for Azhi. This is a massive tool considering he has been the primary target for VKS the entire game.
Ezreal ult, just to check the Baron. That side of the map looking very, very dark for VKS, and Boal might be getting lights out here as well. As the engage comes through, Redemption tries to keep him alive.
Yep, they're just going to take down the Ornn. For as tanky as he was earlier, the damage between Azhi and Karsa is so much. You've got Guardian Angel on Karsa now as well. With Bloodletter's Curse on Azhi, it's so easy to burn through that magic resistance, excuse me. The dive comes through. Disamis under pressure, Mireu under more. Azhi takes the kill, and PSG have taken both enemy solo laners off the table.
It's so well coordinated. Lock down Mireu, who is flashless, to set up for Azhi's ultimate, to put the pressure onto Disamis, so he has to run away as well. And now Dragon about to spawn. It will be Soul for PSG Talon.
And when you look back at this game, you look at an early game advantage for PSG, and then you look at a mid game that was going all the way in VKS's favor up until the fateful Otacon fight. And that's really where everything just completely shattered for VKS's side. PSG winning that team fight, taking the Otacon, rising to a 3,000 gold lead. Now with the Dragon Soul in their possession, a Cloud Soul at that. Very scary stuff. And a 6,000 gold lead. VKS is going to need a PSG throw if they want to come back, because PSG is looking good.
And it's not a PSG that do it particularly often. Rabadon's Death Cap now completed for Maple as well. Going to be providing a ton of damage onto this backline, and it looks like they're done with playing around. They're going to TP in towards the Baron area and look to force one final fight against VKS.
All right. This is it. VKS probably has about one more chance here. Tibbers, I mean, it's dropped on Karsa and Woody, but what does that do? There's nobody else nearby, nobody in the neighborhood to follow up. Karsa full sends it. He knows he's got Guardian Angel. It doesn't matter if he dies. Mireu and Morttheus both just burning away. Betty dominating on that Varus as Boal goes in. Rams is heading to nothing. Disamis and Morttheus firing back here a little bit as Maple tries to put the pressure onto the Ezreal. He can't quite kill him here just yet. Morttheus firing off the mystic shots, but PSG have killed everybody else, and Baron will be their prize.
It's the missing shots from VKS as Maple fishes for one more. But it's PSG that have got that Baron. And you called it in the fight, Flowers. There was just not enough damage to come through onto Karsa. And Azhi's ultimate was perfect in that fight.
The Guardian Angel does what Guardian Angel was designed to do. It gives Karsa the opportunity to jump in there full crazy, give himself as the initiation. Even if he dies, he still sets it up, and the team is ready to go.
You'd, at this position, think maybe, because you just saw Varus on midway for VKS, that you can take the fight, but Karsa sends himself in, the ultimate from Azhi. It's a red carpet of disaster for VKS, a welcoming of calamity. As the engage follows through, Trymbi tries his best, but there's just so much damage, so much burst potential on this PSG side, and VKS just can't hold strong.
Well played from PSG. Karsa getting maximum Guardian Angel value out of that one. Mireu not able to contribute anything to the fight. And we talk about VKS, we talk about how important Mireu is to this team, how much his personal play matters so much for how much they can win. And really, 1-4-8 on the Annie has not been nearly what he was in game number 1 on the Taliyah.
And it's kind of the reason that we've seen Annie fall apart, where if you just don't get these leads, it's just not working out for you. And unfortunately, with the way things have gone, VKS did find some picks to get back into the game, but it just hasn't been enough. And PSG Talon, with this Baron, starting to siege on towards the inhibitor turrets.
10,000 gold lead, Dragon Soul, Baron. This should be just about everything they need. It's one final attempt coming out from VKS. Betty's low, but low's not good enough because the counterattack from PSG arrives. It's Maple grabbing the first kill. Disamis trapped behind enemy lines. Mireu's already down here too as Morttheus tries to escape, but Maple's just throwing out twofold hexes. He's already got himself a double kill. PSG have cleared 4 of them off the rift, and they don't lose a single man.
And now with that minion wave starting to conga line its way in, PSG gonna try and push us now to 1-1.
It looks like we are going the full distance for both series here today, Dagda. PSG, not to be caught unaware, not to go down without a fight, will slam back here in game number 2. They will take out VKS and have one more shot to stay alive here at Worlds.
There's a reason Karsa is so revered within this region. He put on a masterclass in controlling this jungle.
And I think that has to be the story of the game. Karsa in the enemy jungle from level 1, level 2. Analyst desk, what do you think?
I think that, yeah.
Level 3, 4. Okay, no, yeah.
That level 1 was a bit weak.